Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
All right, folks, admit it. You got to be honest now. Truth serum time. You've missed us the last 2 days. I know you have. We know you have. Welcome to a Thursday edition, the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you, of course, from our Thursday home. We have been here a long, long time, and we are glad to be here on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar down in Neptune Beach. Yes, they have it climate controlled. The patio is wonderful. You can dine indoors or here on the patio, whatever suits you. They have drop down the clear vinyl walls they have. The clear vinyl walls they can drop down. They've got them down, and the heaters are on. They can control the climate wonderfully here during the heat or the cold, and you will be surprised. We've got groups, had a huge group on the patio that just got out of here. A couple other ones are wrapping up. Come by, say hi today, tonight, anytime. You can't go wrong at Sliders Oyster Bar. Terry Norvelle sitting here, as I said, at Sliders. Tomorrow we'll be down on the other end of the beach. We've had 2 days off. We needed a little R&R. Enjoyed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Hopefully you did the same, and you had a safe and relaxing couple of days celebrating the holidays. We'll do it again, I guess, kind of the same way. I'm not positive next Tuesday if we'll be on the air. We'll check with everybody. But obviously next Tuesday, New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day. A week later from Christmas. A lot of football to get to. We'll review a bunch of football, including, goodness gracious, those Chiefs. They just keep on keeping on. 15-1. They kind of slowly dismantled Pittsburgh yesterday. The second game was a dud as well in the NFL. We'll talk NFL. We'll talk a little bit of Jaguars as the Jaguars are in a fight for last place. If you can be in a fight for last place, we'll talk about that. Some just general news and notes, including the Miami Hurricanes. An awkward time. They're without their head coach, Jim Larrañaga, the longtime head coach at Miami for 14 years. It was announced today. It looks like he's stepping down. The rumor is it's health related. He's 75 years old. We'll get into that a little bit. Florida, are they getting closer to an offensive coordinator? There's a hot rumor going around. We'll talk some college football as we are still a week or so away. Next Tuesday, not this weekend. I think a lot of college football fans think the next round of the college football playoff is coming up this weekend. No. Next Tuesday, one game, and then next Wednesday, New Year's Day, 3 games. It's kind of the same setup as last week, 1-3, but on different days of the week. All right, we got a lot going on. We may hear from Patrick Young. I'm not sure what Pat's travel and holiday schedule has been. We'll catch up with Patrick hopefully at some point here on the show, and we'll jump on with Patrick and kick some stuff around as well. Well, we do have our man Zach Rothrock, who is back from the low country of South Carolina. Zach, I know you made a little jaunt up to see some family, and I think it went well, and I'm glad you're back. I let off the show, and I want you to get involved in this as well, Zach. I let off the show and I said, hey, folks, admit it. You've missed us. We've been off the air for 2 days with the holiday. Take your truth serum and tell us we know you've missed us. With that being said, I want you to be honest engines here. Zach, I want you to do it first.
What's that?
And I'll admit as well. Tell me, do not lie now. Tell me how many times today, and you can do it over or under, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. How many times today have you stopped yourself and your inner monologue, because we all talk to ourselves, right? You talk to yourself, don't you, Zach?
More than I probably should, honestly, yes.
I talk to myself all the time, and I have to. When I'm in the car, I'll be talking away to myself. I'll look over and somebody will be looking at me, and then I turn it into, I'm singing. I'll start bobbing the head and say, so they don't think I'm crazy. No, I'm just singing. I'm singing. All right, Zach, here we go. Honest engines. Answer this honestly. Today, how many times would you guesstimate in your inner monologue talking to yourself, have you asked yourself, what day of the week is it?
Yeah, it is. It's one. Well, Me, I've
What
kind of
day
had
of
my
the week?
ducks in a row because of the work schedule. But yeah, I know what you mean. It doesn't feel normal. Everything was out of whack this week for sure, especially Christmas been on a Wednesday. That's probably pretty common. Yeah.
Like today, 2 or 3 times, man. I'm like, what? Wait, what? What day? Is it Monday? It felt like a Monday a little bit, right?
Yeah. And
Yes,
I bet a lot of
it
people
felt like a Sunday kind of.
I know a lot of people I talk to have to work today and tomorrow. A lot of people do. So it's kind of weird, that dynamic of having to go back for the second half of the week.
And then like this morning, I was driving early this morning heading to the arena, and I'm just cruising, not really, it's early in the morning, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, gosh, where's everybody? Okay. What day is this? I was like, is this a Saturday? But no, yesterday kind of I did, obviously like most people, I did the Christmas thing in the morning till around noonish. And then I was pretty much done. So the rest of yesterday, Christmas Day, Wednesday, felt like Sunday, and then
it felt like a blur.
You kind of go to bed, and then you think, okay, I got up and I had to do some stuff early. Like I said, I'm like, but I've asked myself a good 3 or 4 times, what day of the week is it? How was your trip?
Oh, it was good. I mean, I went up to South Carolina, saw the family. Everything went pretty smooth for the most part. I did get a speeding ticket on the way home.
You got a speeding ticket?
Got a speeding ticket on the way home. Yeah, the place that I know that there's always cops there. Yeah, literally today.
Where at?
Camden, South Carolina, at a place where I know that there's always cops, and I've driven through a lot of times, and I don't know. I'll just go.
You went to South Carolina. So you went to South Carolina. That's where your family's at. So you got one. You weren't far from leaving the family.
Oh, I mean, I had just left. I was like 45 minutes into it.
That is brutal. Give me some numbers, though. Give me some numbers.
He knocked it down to a minimum, as if I was going 10 over. But man, I was going about 30 over. I was going 75 and a 45.
Now, after you got pulled over, you went through the thing, you got your ticket. That was probably the least of your worries. Did wifey get on you? Was she saying you're driving too fast?
I mean, we drove separately because I had to, be back quicker. And I left a little later too. But no, I mean, I told her about it. I mean, she knows my tendencies. She's not surprised by this information.
You think so? What you think you were doing about 75? You said, or no?
Oh yeah. I was
you were doing more.
No, I think I was going about 75.
And what was the limit at that point?
45. I was going about 30 over, but he knocked it down to a minimum. Yeah. So I was like, I was grateful. I was like, you know what? Thank you. I deserve that. Thank you for, working with me. I was very cordial.
So
then I had the dog. I got the dog in the front seat. The dog is like barking her head off at him when he comes to. I'm like, you chill out. Don't bark at the guy.
Right.
You got to settle her down.
Knowing your luck, he's a cat person,
yeah,
right? He hates dogs. Guy got bit by a dog. When he was a kid.
Yeah, my dog has a very aggressive bite. I've never seen her actually try to bite. She got a very aggressive bark though.
Yeah.
And
a police officer's in a uniform and used to that and all.
Yeah.
So you were not on a highway. You were on
this is I had just gotten through a town and I'm about to connect to the highway type of stretch.
So he was pretty nice, but he wasn't too nice to where you could just say, "Hey, man, it's Christmas season."
Yeah, not a full warning. I've never gotten away with a full warning. I've been pulled over a couple of times, never gotten the warning. No, I take it back. One time I did.
I'm assuming. Well, so you didn't have a button-up shirt because you could have unbuttoned a couple buttons there, and
I'm not above trying. I'm not above trying. Yeah, strangely enough, my wife has gotten lots of warnings. How does that work? My wife has gotten. Yeah, hold up. How does that work? She's gotten a few warnings.
I've met your wife, and I know you. I would warn your wife, and I would throw the book at you.
Yeah, I understand. I try to be. I'm never quippy with the cops. I'm always very cordial. I'm always thank you, sir. Here we go. I have my license registration ready. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's okay then. I deserved it. I deserve the ticket, and I'll pay the ticket.
And you can just mail it in, right?
Yeah, I can just do the mail. Good Lord, that'd be a huge inconvenience. I had to drive all the way up there. That's how they had to do it back in the day, though, huh?
And if you do it, do you get points, or do they still do the points thing? I don't get many tickets. I don't drive.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read the fine print on that.
Are you a Leadfoot?
Yes. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh yeah. I used to do the DoorDash and the Grubhub, like food delivery. I used to do that. And so, I figured I know I can get in and out of the town center extremely quickly through traffic. I know how to navigate the town center here.
Now,
St. John's.
Tell me you didn't have your baby with you.
No, just me and the dog. Just me and the dog.
Good. You don't need to be driving all crazy with the baby.
I try not to.
So, did did your trip take longer because you were slowpoke Annie on the rest of the drive? Were you going really slow?
No, really though. After that, there was so much traffic, there were no opportunities to speed. It was pretty heavy on 95. If anyone's on there right now, it's probably even heavier. Pretty crazy traffic. Especially so the way it always goes when you're leaving South Carolina, it's 2 lanes, and then as soon as you get to Georgia, it's 3, and that's when it opens up. It was bumper to bumper the whole way.
I've always enjoyed the I've gone to South Carolina, 2 or 3 South Carolina games. So I've driven to Columbia and or through Columbia several times. From Duval County, from Jacksonville or whatever, it's a simple little drive. You don't even turn. You
just go up 95 straight.
26. I think it's 26 cuts you over.
Yeah, to Columbia,
And then you get on something else and you kind of go a little ways and you look over to your left and you can see the stadium.
Yeah.
Right off.
Yeah, it's an easy little shot. It really is.
It's an easy little jaunt up there, unless you're Richard Petty.
Yeah.
That's your
I do like to I like to bob and weave when there's opportunity, but there were no opportunities, so I didn't have to.
Was the when you left today in South Carolina, was it ugly like it is here, the weather-wise?
It was foggy. Nothing crazy though.
Yeah.
Right, not like the shot we have of downtown.
I know, dude. That was nothing but fogged out, man.
Yeah, if I can pull this back up, that's our live shot.
Yeah, that's our overhead camera
downtown right now.
What happened?
As you can see, there's a lot happening down there. There really is.
My goodness. And the word is, I've heard, we're going to have maybe a little bad weather tomorrow, and it's supposed to, I think by Saturday it may be the 70s, but it looks like rain on Sunday, and they said maybe storms, and wouldn't you know, that's the Jaguars' final home game. And it's got to be a rainy day.
Storm clouds above, yeah. And then the Gator Bowl, I assume, is that Tuesday or Wednesday?
It is January 2nd, which is Thursday.
That'd be Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of one of the last. They're kind of one of the last bowl games, other than the finishing off of the playoff, the college football playoff. What'd you make of? Gosh darn, Kansas City. I'm proud that they actually played a road game. They actually played on the road, and it didn't matter. They just
not at all. Good grief, man. Yeah, the Steelers are on a 3-game losing streak, not looking great. The Chiefs, that was the best they looked offensively all year. They've still won 15 games and they've yet to score 30 points. They scored 29 yesterday, so still haven't scored 30.
That tells you they're a well-rounded team.
Yeah,
man.
I mean that's the scary thing is that they are a team that's based around playing defense or running the football, and they still have Patrick Mahomes to play quarterback that can get you the win at the end of the game. So I mean
how perfect,
they're gonna be hard to beat.
How perfect does it fall now? They've secured anything and everything they can secure. They have 2 games left. Now they can do what they want with Mahomes. They can rest him a little bit. Yeah. There's nothing left to play for in the regular season. And I'm not big on that. Well, if you don't play a couple games, you're going to be they'll be fine if he doesn't play. And they could even play him a couple series in the next 2 games and get him out of there. You know?
I'm with you on that. I don't really necessarily buy into that whole philosophy. I know the Colts lost a couple games back in the day when they rested starters, but they also made the Super Bowl after resting starters too. So I think when you're the Chiefs and you're that old and a veteran of a team, you want the rest and you want to get like Chris Jones didn't even play yesterday. They need him healthy. They need Mahomes, Kelsey.
He didn't even play yesterday.
So they need. When Arthur Blank is running the show, or not, Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator and running the show for the Steelers, you don't need necessarily your top tier guys to stop them from getting first downs. Fortunately,
I still go back to if you step back, we know how talented, particularly their frontline guys, are for the Chiefs. But dude, that organization is buttoned up, man. You don't lose players and just throw a dart on a dartboard and hit like they do. They'll lose Pacheco, and that they've got these boards, and they think ahead, man. They go out and find Kareem Hunt back off the street. They go out and find a receiver to take over. They go out and find this and that, man. They are a buttoned-up organization, man.
Yeah, they've been able to evolve. Like they couldn't have keep playing their same brand of football they had when they had Tyreek Hill. That wouldn't translate. They've evolved past that, and they're probably better now than they used to be in many ways.
And they evolve. They keep their big pieces in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Mahomes and the Kelseys and the Chris Jones, and
that's the big three with Coach Reed.
And 4 or 5 years ago, they go out and get Bolton. I think that guy's Bolton from Missouri. He makes 1 million tackles, a little undersized linebacker. Right. and then they plug in. They remind me, or I'll tell you a franchise just way back. This predates you, but this was one of these franchises that won a bunch. They won a bunch even with different coaches, and this preaches to what I'm talking about. The 49ers were great at that. The 49ers, and it got started with Montana, and it went through Young. But the 49ers, they did a great job. And you're talking Walsh and Seifert. Their front office was so good, it cycled through great coaches too. But the 49ers had a really great feel for – they would go out and have a Super Bowl season, and they would have signed a 34-year-old linebacker, but they needed a linebacker. And he would play 1 year, he would do great, and they would know when to let him go. They'd let him go the next year. They were great at plugging holes, and the offseason would start, and you'd go, damn, that was they plugged him in for 1 year. He was great, but he's an aging great guy. The 49ers had a great feel for that, and they won a lot. They remind me of Kansas City.
Yeah, and that's the hard part is knowing when to move on. I mean, they could have potentially moved on from Tyreek Hill a year early, but it was probably still the right move because of the salary cap. I know. For example, particularly the draft pick they got back for trading away Tyreek Hill turned into George Karlaftis, who's been a cornerstone edge rusher for their defense. So without trading away Tyreek Hill, they would have never picked him up.
Yeah.
So they got him making the right move.
And do you remember roughly what number he was in the draft?
It had to be I think it was the back end of the first round, or maybe middle.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was in the 20s.
Yeah, something like that. It was the pick they traded with Miami.
And it's hard to hit on a very early star in the 20s. And I mean, that guy, and he moved in. He didn't have to be the lead guy right away, right? He's not the lead. I mean, he moved in with Jones and these guys. He didn't have to, but man, what a nice second or third get after the passer guy.
Oh yeah, he made a play. I can't remember. I think he forced a fumble or something yesterday. He makes plays all the time.
Yeah. If Kansas City if they win it again, and it's a pretty tough road. I mean, Buffalo doesn't fear them anymore. They got to win, and Baltimore's good still. I know they can't beat them, but Baltimore is going. If they keep playing them, they'll beat them at some point, won't they?
Yeah, I mean they barely lost that week 1 game. Something that really works out good for Kansas City though is if all of the higher seeds just win, Baltimore and Buffalo will play each other in the divisional round, and then the Chiefs will just have to get the winner. And those are the two teams that obviously have the best chance to knock them off.
And I always say this: it's really true in March Madness, but any tournament like this, and now it's true in college football with basically a real tournament now with 12, soon to be 14, soon to be 16. But in a tournament situation, that's a perfect example, Zach. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting. It could have played out. It could have played out where Kansas City would have had to go through Baltimore and Buffalo. But no. Just what you said. Hey, they don't have to do a double barbell. They can do a single barbell. The heavy lifting.
It's likely the Chiefs' first playoff game will either be against the Steelers, Chargers, or Broncos, or I guess it could be the Texans as well. But it'll be one of those teams, and then Buffalo and Baltimore play each other. And so then, the Texans are still in first, and the South is atrocious.
Say that again.
The AFC South is atrocious. So the Texans really
is. And along those lines, I've been pretty damn surprised. I thought the Texans would be better than they are this year, and I know it's not over, but. Gosh,
I definitely did. I thought I was looking for CJ Stroud to take a big a year or two jump, but he's taken the old sophomore slump, and a lot of it has been the receivers getting injured and whatnot. But you should be able to make do with what he had for the most better than he did at least.
And they are going to the playoffs because they play in a terrible division.
Yeah, they're going to win by default. I thought for a while, the Colts were going to win it from them, but they had too many losses, so they can't. I thought the Jaguars had a chance before the season started potentially, but no, they never had a legitimate shot.
It's ironic, and we can take a break. Come back. I want to talk about Zach. You hate to be in the position, but it is, and losing is the right thing for the Jaguars, the Giants, the Patriots, the Raiders. The Raider fans are still pissed off they won that game.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
Are, and I understand this is one of the weird little flaws that I don't know can be fixed in the NFL, but it's a weird little flaw. There is, and don't tell me, well, you want to get a winning culture. These are big boys. These are professional football players. An extra win or two will help you going into. Shut up. That culture stuff this is big boy football.
Right.
Zach, there's nothing positive for the Jags, the Giants, the Pats, or the Raiders to win a game or two at the end.
No, not at all.
Really
right. Yeah, if you're out, you're out. And I think the Dallas Cowboys, are the Cowboys mathematically eliminated or not? I think they had
they finally got knocked out.
So with that being the case, they might as well go ahead and shut down a player that's injured. CeeDee Lamb has been shut down for the rest of the season, which really only impacts someone who might be in their fantasy playoff with him. But yeah, they're shutting. There's no point in having him out there if he can't make the playoffs.
That just come down?
I just got a notification about that about 1 minute ago.
I got you.
So yeah, CeeDee Lamb has been shut down for the rest of the season. The Cowboys' star wide receiver, Ian Rappaport, tweeting it out.
Makes total sense. Let's take a first break. Come back, Zach. Let's kick around what those four franchises have left: Jacksonville, the Giants, the Patriots, and the Raiders. What they have left, where they stand, and the race to the end, the race to the bottom. It sounds crazy, but I think it's the best thing for the four franchises. Who will win the race to the bottom, which will be the top of the draft? We'll talk about that. A lot of other topics. It's a Thursday. We're back after 2 days off for the holiday. I hope you're enjoying the show. I know I'm enjoying bringing it to you. Live from Sliders Oyster Bar. Back after this quick timeout.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
The main man, Johnny Pop, is behind the Oyster Bar. Got it rocking and rolling. Boy, he's shucking away. You got to be careful the way you say that. Zach, you got to be real careful the way you say that, but he is shucking away behind the Oyster Bar here.
Yeah, easy.
At Sliders, and you know it by now, best seafood, you will find the freshest seafood. They carry the Safe Harbor seafood, and Safe Harbor, their docks and their boats come right off the water right there. And right here, it is on your plate, prepared to your liking. Any seafood, whatever it is, if you like it, oysters, fish, it just goes on and on. Ceviche, they've got it all. If you're in that mood, you got a family member or a traveling family that you want to show off a little bit and show them some great Florida seafood, you can't go wrong here in Neptune Beach. Sliders, Oyster Bar. Zach Rothrock hanging out with us here on a Thursday, Zach. It's Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday.
I've stopped 3 times today and gone, what day of the week is it? We've already talked about that. But, all right, here we go. Jaguars 3-12. The race to the bottom to be at the top, right? The race to the bottom to get to the top of the draft. I guess that's what it is. It really looks like the Giants are going to hold on and get the first pick. The Giants, worst record in football, 2-13. Jaguars 3-12. Patriots, people forget about the Patriots. They're 3-12. They're in this mix. They're trying to bump.
Yeah, they're in the mix. They're in the mix for sure, yeah.
And Titans. Then, kind of forget about how bad they are. And then the Raiders are 3-12 with their win. Raider Nation is pissed off. About 90%, I would say, from what I can gather.
Probably should be.
They're not happy about that win over the Jaguars.
Yeah.
What the hell did y'all do to go win? Why'd you win? Here's what we got. Jaguars 3-12. 2 games left, just like everybody. The Jaguars at home against the Titans, and then they're on the road against the Colts. The Giants 2-13. I just don't. Do you see the Giants? They've got the Colts at home and at Philadelphia. Well, they're not winning at Philadelphia, right?
Oh, I've actually seen some people think that the Eagles may lay down and try to let the Giants win that game to kind of screw them out of a top pick sort of deal, because the Eagles are going to have everything lined up. Just the ultimate troll move. Yeah, they're considering not letting Saquon Barkley play for the record just for a chance to screw the Giants out again. But yeah, if they played straight up though, no way, the Eagles would definitely win.
Isn't that great? And that's got to chap Roger Goodell, man. He's got right.
Sure,
Isn't that terrible? Isn't that, dude? Zach?
That's definitely something.
And isn't that so Philadelphia? What?
Oh yeah. I wouldn't put that. Yeah, that's a Nick Sirianni move. Nick Sirianni coaches the NFL as if he's a middle schooler playing Madden. So yeah, that would definitely be what a middle schooler playing Madden would do. So yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. The Jaguars may need to jump in and figure this thing out now and say, wait a minute. Maybe
also still lurking for the number 1 seed. The Browns are also 3-12. The Titans are also 3-12. They got the talent to do it. Both those franchises.
So Cleveland, and who was the other one?
The Titans.
Titans.
Unfortunately for the Jaguars, the Titans.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Or maybe fortunately, they could win a few games with Mason Rudolph that they would have lost with Will Levis.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you this. I've been bringing up these 4 because these have been the 4 the last couple of weeks have really been there. But you're right, Cleveland. And, I've mentioned 2 or 3 times, it would be a nightmare if what you just said happened, I think, for the Jaguars. If somehow the Giants won a game or 2, the Patriots, the Raiders won a game, the Jaguars, if somehow Tennessee got the number 1 pick, that'd be a nightmare.
Well, the Browns are trying. The Browns are starting Dorian Thompson-Robinson. They're like actively tanking.
But I mean, the Browns aren't in the division. If the Titans got the 1 and they used it to get 2 good players and swap,
yeah, I get what you're saying. Good. Oh yeah, no, that's a nightmare scenario.
If the Jaguars don't get the 1, you want it out of your division.
Yeah, if I'm the I want to somehow get a pick that lines up for me to get Travis Hunter. If I'm the Jaguars, that's what I want. I don't necessarily think you need the 1 for that.
Maybe. So here you go. Jaguars 2 games left. Titans at home, Colts on the road. Giants 2 games left. We said Colts at home, Philadelphia on the road. The Patriots, they're still in this mix. They've got the Chargers and the Bills.
The Bills again, yeah.
Yeah, they got the Chargers and the Bills, and the Raiders have the Saints and the Chargers, but they messed around and went out and got a win.
Oh, Raiders versus Saints. Good grief.
How bad is that this Sunday?
That's tough.
Oh,
yeah.
How bad is that
game? That's real tough.
That is really, really bad. Hey, speaking of the Colts, and I've got nothing against Anthony Richardson. I just don't think he's a very good quarterback. I don't think he was good at Florida. I think he's in the wrong position. I think he's one of those classic. The junior high school coach said, put the best guy at quarterback. The high school coach said, put the best guy at quarterback. And he's so talented, he can do it.
Oh, yeah.
But he can't do it at a high level. Did you see the Colts won the other day, right? They came back and won 38-30.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson started the game and played the whole game. Nobody else played quarterback. Go check out the box score. He was 7 for 11, 131 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The Colts, they won the game. They ran the ball 50 times for 335 yards.
Yeah, Taylor had a few huge ones.
That's the good news for the Colts. The bad news is you can't run the ball in the NFL 50 times and hide your quarterback all the time. Right?
No, yeah, what they're doing doesn't seem sustainable, especially when Anthony Richardson can't stay healthy. Like I understand the logic of their experiment, but the experiment appears to be failing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When I saw the numbers, I saw them. They came back and they flashed. They said he was 7 of 11, and I immediately went to the box score and said, "Okay, he must have only played." No, he only threw 11 passes. They took the ball out of his hands. Well, now because they couldn't get stopped on the run, but you can't win like that. So was that a win or a loss for the development of the Colts? I don't know if that was a win or a loss.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it could have been a step backwards. I did notice that when Jonathan Taylor scored a touchdown this time, he ran it through the end zone and into the tunnel instead of dropping it at the 1. So that was definitely a win. That's a step forward.
How does that keep happening?
I don't know. You would think that once Deshaun Jackson did it about 15, 17 years ago, whenever that was, you would think that once he did it and then coaches saw a tape of it, everybody would just know, hey, carry it into the end zone. But it happens at least once every year, I feel like.
Just one more step. Because keep in mind, one more step, generally you're flying as fast as you can go. So one more step, you're covering 4 feet, 5 feet, right?
Yeah.
One more strike.
But think about how cool he looks throwing it down right as he crosses the end zone. That looks super cool, right?
It really does.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
It's worth it. Hey, let me extrapolate though on Anthony Richardson. Here are his stats for the year. You ready for this?
Oh yeah.
He's completed 126 passes, 264 attempts. Now, as you said, he hadn't played a whole year because he's been injured. That's why his numbers aren't large. So 126 completions for 1,814 yards. He's thrown 8 touchdown passes.
All right.
He's thrown 12 interceptions.
Not good.
And he is completing 48% of his passes.
That's bad.
You cannot complete 48% of your passes. And the thing with Richardson now, I would wonder what what's the temperature of the Colt fan up in Indianapolis around Richardson. You see him play, right? He had an abbreviated career at Florida, but he played a decent amount. He's had an abbreviated career in 2 years, but he's played. We've seen Anthony Richardson. I don't see anything in his delivery that's a flaw. You kind of wish he had a flaw in his delivery, and you could say, like Randy Johnson, the great pitcher, He couldn't throw a strike for the longest time, but he was 6'10", and you knew he had flaw. If he could figure, well, there's no damn. We got to fix. Richardson physically throws a good ball. He's just not accurate, and I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, he only played 13 games at Florida compared to Bo Nix in his college career. I believe he played 55 games. They've both played exactly 13 in the NFL, even though Bo Nix only been in the league 1 year. He just simply doesn't have the experience. He didn't start playing quarterback until he was already almost out of high school.
So are you of the opinion that there's still a chance the proverbial light will go on? Because I don't think it's a physical thing at all. That's what scares me.
No, exactly.
If it was a physical flaw, I would be more ready to give him a chance.
Yeah, well, I think kind of heading into this year, I was patient and I was hoping that the light bulb would come on. But now I think at this point, I think I've seen enough because I like the idea of these experimental type quarterbacks. Like, because if it works out right and you go all the way to the top of it, you get Lamar Jackson. You get like an unstoppable force. You get a guy that has learned how to read defenses. He's learned how to throw. Lamar Jackson he's 20 times more accurate of a passer than he was when he just entered the league. I just made up a number, but whatever. Yeah. But Anthony Richardson, he doesn't appear to have that ability to or perhaps a desire, like the way that he checked himself out of the game. That's a huge red flag to me when he checked himself out of the game. I just don't know that he's necessarily improving. I don't know that he's learning.
Well, I was tired, Coach.
Yeah, when either QB1 that you don't do that. The QB1 does not do that ever.
I was tired.
No. That's bad.
I'm glad you brought up Lamar Jackson. Certainly, he was a kid from the state of Florida, went to Louisville, and had some pretty good success there. At Louisville, saw him play a lot. He played at FSU. He was the quarterback that beat FSU like 63-3 that one game. They put 60 something on him. When I watched him in college at Louisville, he wasn't a great passer.
He's improved a lot.
But I will say this: watching Lamar Jackson throw the ball at Louisville and Anthony Richardson, I thought Lamar threw a much better ball in college than Richardson, and he's gotten. I wish Richardson had an ugly hitch in his throw or something, a Tebow hitch or something, and you go, well, if you can get rid of that, he may be a star in the way. I think physically, and I'm not a quarterback coach, I just watch football a lot. I don't see any issues, and I wish I saw issues at 48%, right?
Yeah, I see a lot of with him and Justin Fields. I see a lot of the same thing. It's just they look, and if their first read isn't open, they're just, I'm getting out of here. I'm running. That's it. I'm faster than everyone else. I'm just running. And then Anthony Richardson, he tries to run linebackers over because he's bigger than they are. So why not? And then he ends up getting hurt. It seems like it's a vicious cycle with him.
And some guys, I keep going back to this. I'll go back to it again. I'll go to it a million times probably while he's in the league. Some guys just, I don't care how good of an athlete, they're not good at throwing objects. And I'll say, I think if today Anthony Richardson and his wife or girlfriend went to the fair, I think tomorrow if they went to the state fair, wherever, and I think 5 years from now if they went to the state fair, I don't think Anthony Richardson has a shot in hell of winning her a teddy bear at the toss.
Not the chucks over.
I just don't think he would ever win his sweetie because she might win him. I just don't think. Some guys just don't throw accurate. It might be a baseball, a rock at a window. It might be a football to. I just don't think he's got that trait. Everybody, and Zach, I'll use another analogy I've used. How many times have you seen high school, college, pro level football, and Team X, their running back is probably the best athlete. Man, this guy's running over guys. He goes right, he goes left. He's strong, he's fast, he's quick. You'll see a halfback pass every blue moon, and that guy I just described, to say throws like a girl is an overstatement, right? You'll go, man, that guy just can't throw. He just doesn't have that throwing thing.
The mechanic,
I don't think Richardson has that throwing DNA in his body,
he can throw it really hard. So if he's playing the game where you got to knock the jugs over, he could definitely throw the ball hard enough to put a hole through the wall behind the jugs.
But he's got to hit the jug.
Yeah, he got to hit the wall. Yeah, but I like to think if he's sitting there with no pass rush, he could probably hit 1 out of 3. But he would probably sail the first one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Then right next to him is Mahomes, and his wife's taking home 15 stuffed animals.
Right? Yeah, Mahomes probably hit it pretty much every time. He'd probably start throwing it behind his back.
He's hitting it like crazy. I don't know. Yeah. How much longer do the Colts ride with? It's tough too. They've invested a lot. He's a first-round pick. They've given him a lot of money, and do you worry this if you're the GM too of the Colts? What if we let him go next year, right, or whatever? He plays out his contract, and then he turns into a star.
That's always the worry. And then you groomed him, you taught him all this stuff. But I feel like they probably this will be going into year 3 this offseason. They probably give him one more offseason, and they don't spend a high draft pick on a quarterback, maybe a late draft pick on a quarterback, and then just see how it plays out from there.
You know my stance on the Jaguars. Did I think they would be this bad? No, I had them at 6-11.
Yeah, me neither.
But I didn't think this bad. But I never one bit in the offseason, and we're going to go to this a bunch this coming offseason. I never thought this team I didn't think they were going to be any good. I'm stunned that people are so surprised. I do remember, though, when the schedule came out, and I thought to myself, well, this next to last game could be – what if no, they've got the Titans and then the Colts. What if right, the Colts are the last game, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, if I've missed on the Jaguars, what if they're having a really good season? And what if the Colts are as well? And then you've got that Richardson, former Gator, against the Jacksonville team. That could have – that's out the window.
Yeah,
that would have been fun.
It'll be a totally different story. This is going to be Mac Jones versus Anthony Richardson as Richardson tries to keep his job instead.
Yeah, and final game. Final game, and I think I'm right. Final game and day before Black Monday.
Yeah, I've heard they're going to be up to 9 open coaching jobs in the NFL this year.
So, I mean, if Black Monday being the next day, not that a Doug Peterson, if he knows he's done, not that he's going to throw in the towel, but I mean, do you think that matters? You know, the last 52 plays he calls in Jacksonville, you think he gives a damn that Sunday?
No, that would be out the window. I'm honestly under the impression that dude's going to be back next year.
What about Balky?
I think that's who goes. I think that's the scapegoat.
Really?
I think so.
One of them has to go, right?
It feels like there's got to be some type of change.
If neither one of them go, isn't that Shad Khan saying, well, we're not placing blame on either one? Well, who's getting the blame? This wasn't a ravished year of injuries. They've had injuries just like every team has injuries. It wasn't like they didn't have Detroit injuries. I mean, it wasn't.
No, yeah, or San Fran.
Blame it on. If you don't fire either one of those guys, and you know me, I'm not a fire guy, just fire. You've almost got to let one of them go to say, he did it. He put it together, or he put it together, Balky, or he couldn't coach him right, Peterson.
Yeah, and the one quote, as I know I just said I think he keeps Doug Peterson, but the one quote that I can't get out of my head from that is when Shad Khan at the beginning of the season said that this is the most talented team that they've ever had assembled. And so when the season goes this poorly after making that statement, it does feel like you need to fire Doug Peterson. But I think that the fact they didn't do it after that London game just makes me feel like he's going to stay. The second London game, I mean.
If he fires neither one of those guys, how do you fire anybody down the road? How do you justify firing any coach? Any coach.
One thing that I could see them potentially wanting to stay with him is because if you give it one more year, then you get a full clean house. Then you get rid of Peterson, you get rid of Balky, and then you start looking really seriously at Trevor Lawrence. I think he'll just have a couple more years on his contract after that. So maybe we just want to get rid of all three at the same time, so you just keep them so they can run it back and potentially correct it together. Because what you don't want to do is give Trevor Lawrence another head coach and another OC and start all over again like he's already done.
You got to think about it. You got to think about that. And you know, the scary thing too is he's going into his 5th year next year.
I know it comes fast.
It goes fast, and I always say this: his football odometer's got a lot of miles on it.
Yeah,
they got to protect him, man. They got to protect him. I saw a laundry list of his injuries. And they're adding up, man.
Oh, yeah, they started at Clemson. And, yeah, so he signed a 5-year deal before this season. So after next season, there would still be 3 more. So I think that'd kind of be when you got 3 years left in the contract, that's when you kind of start looking at, do we need to start drafting the guy? Like, do we need to, what do we need to do here?
Rookie contracts are like 3 years.
Rookie contract lasts 4 years, and then you get the 5th-year option if you accept.
But you start talking after that 3rd year, don't you? About
yeah, so if someone's really good, like, for example, the Bengals went ahead and extended Joe Burrow after his 3rd year, but they elected not to with Jamar Chase, and that kind of caused some friction.
Well, this is, and we'll go to break, come back, and we got some other topics to get to. This is way ahead. I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, but my God, if the Jaguar franchise doesn't turn it around in the next couple of years, if you're Brian Thomas Jr., and you keep being the only real superstar on this team, when he wraps up year 3, what's he telling his agent? What's his agent telling him? Man, Brian, we got to get out of town, man. You're wasting money.
That's a conundrum you don't want. You want to be able to keep your star players and attract better star players, and you definitely don't want to be a team that loses to Brian Thomas Jr. He is a bright spot. He's a reason to sell tickets, frankly.
We didn't talk either about if, and Khan's got to consider this. I mean, if he pink slips Peterson and he keeps Balky, how many interviews are going to say, hey, man, I'm not so sure I want to come to here, Shad, and work under Balky. I'm not. No, I'm good. I'm not going to get on the plane and come down there. Balky, you're going to keep Balky? I'm good.
I think Balky's going either way. It just feels like it. Yeah. But I don't know.
Let's take a break. Got a lot of stuff to get to. Including different topics. This date in sports history I want to get to. Got some news and notes. Some stuff's happened around just the world of sports I want to get to. I want to correlate also a lot of complaining about the first round of the college football playoff. I want to correlate that a little bit to the NFL playoff. I mean, are they always perfect? Are they always great? I'll go over some of that with you, and we'll get your thoughts as well. The Georgia and Texas quarterback rooms intrigue the hell out of me. We'll try to get to that topic as well. Wrapping up hour number 1, a full second hour coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Stay with us here, the Young and Norvelle Show, continuing on a Thursday live from Sliders Oyster Bar.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, back we are. Terry Norvelle sitting right here on the patio. We do it every Thursday right here at Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, featuring the Safe Harbor Seafood. Doesn't get a whole lot of pressure from the dock, from the ocean to the dock to your plate, just like that. Safe Harbor Seafood right down the street, and they get that fresh seafood delivered from all the fishing boats every single day, and they run it over here multiple times a day. You can't go wrong if you're in the mood in the market for some seafood. You can't go wrong at Sliders Oyster Bar. Terry Norvelle here on a Thursday. Zach Rothrock hanging out as well. I want to get to some sports history in a little bit, Zach, on this date. But I wanted to really quickly correlate a little bit of the college football playoff, and we'll call it really the first real playoff. 12 teams makes it a real playoff, more than 4. And the 4 games, Zach, obviously you would agree they weren't compelling. They were 4 just they didn't give you a reason to stay around. The games were not compelling. I will say this, that before people bury college football, did they pick a wrong team here or there? Maybe. And we know picking teams is not the way to go. The college football needs to evolve to where you win your way into the play. I get all that. But I will say this. There have been plenty of years where the wild card round in the NFL is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There have been plenty of years where you go, gosh, darn, those were terrible wild card games. Zach, there have been plenty of Super Bowls that were dogs. I mean, I went over those. I had those scores the other day.
That Seahawks-Broncos one was real tough from the get-go.
Were you on the show? I can't remember if you were on the show.
I don't remember this discussion. Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, the other day, here are some Super Bowl scores. I mean, the Super Bowl has been a dud game. There was a run in the 80s through the 90s, late 80s through the 90s. They were almost unwatchable. Here's some scores.
Where the NFC was just a different league back then,
Here's some scores from Super Bowls gone by. The Super Bowls have been duds. So before you bury college football, playoff games can become duds. Again, wild card rounds in the NFL have been terrible. Second rounds have been terrible. 35-10, 24-3, 32-14, 38-9, 27-10, 46-10, 39-20, 42-10, 55-10, 52-17, on and on and on.
That's tough.
There have been terrible Super Bowls. So I wanted to throw that out before everybody buries, number one, that happens. I mean, there are World Series that go 4 games none, right? One team sweeps the other team, even in a series. I also want to throw this out, Zach. We are now in a new period of free agency in college football, right? It's free agency. And there's a faction of people that are just up in arms. It's the worst. Oh, my God, they got to do that. Well, let me back people up a little bit. And I'll use the example of the NFL. The NFL, it took the NFL a long time to figure out free agency. The league did this and that and changed it. They didn't just hit the ground running. Let me give you an example, or catch people up. Free agency in professional sports hasn't always been around. Major League Baseball free agency popped up in the early 70s. The NBA free agency popped up as we know it, the way it is now, in the 80s. And the NFL has tried different types of free agency over decades. The current free agency we're in, that they feel like they've got it down right, got in place in 1993. Okay?
Yeah.
The NFL didn't just hit the ground with free agency and it ran perfect. They had pros and cons. They had to work it out. My point being, college football, I think, will work it out. So people, it doesn't have to be spit shine perfect year one. It wasn't that way in pro sports year one.
No, yeah, it's okay. There was obviously going to be some growing pains. I think the one thing that college football definitely needs to take a look at is changing the date that the transfer portal opens. They need to make it until it's after the playoff, and probably until the semifinal games are over. When we're heading to the championship, maybe that's when you open it, because you're getting this scenario where the Penn State quarterback is looking to get out, and you just don't want to invite those type of, because the kids are going to take, if you give them that opportunity, they're going to take that opportunity. So you just got to take that opportunity away. I think.
But give it some time to mature and work. Again, the NFL tried the current free agency. They're pretty happy with. It's pretty much what we're under now has been the system since '93. It took them a long time to get there. They did the NFL had all kind of little things they tried, they scrapped, they added, they took away. They leaned toward a rookie contract. They leaned toward the veteran. There was all kind of stuff. It wasn't perfect when they just threw it out there.
Right.
My point I'm trying to make.
Right. And then the NFL's goal is basically they want to have every division look like the NFC West looks. The NFC West, the Rams are in first place at 9-6. The Niners are in last place at 6-9. They don't want to have these 3-11 teams like the Jaguars. Yeah, that's the goal.
And you hit it so – I've said this a billion times, and they think it's the right way, and they're the NFL, and they know what they're doing. If there is one word that the NFL thinks works and is best for their league, that word is parity.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's parity, what they're going for.
They think parity, and I think they're probably right. I mean, they're the NFL. They don't make many bad. They think the best for the whole league is now. Sometimes they can't keep away from somebody has a run like Kansas City. Somebody has a run like the Dallas Cowboys. And then some teams are terrible for too long. But for the most part, they think the best strength for their whole is parity. And they build in things to promote parity. The reverse order draft, the salary cap, things like that are built for parity. You're right. Roger Goodell, if he had it his way, you would say, what are there, 32 teams?
That's right. Yeah, 32.
You would cut that into 6 or 8 teams, that he would want for 2 or 3 years, these 8 teams are really good. And then 3 or 4 years down the road, they take a step back, and this group of 8, and then the next group behind them of 8 that were the worst 8 in 3 or 4 years, he wants them to be the second best 8. You know what I mean?
Probably, yeah.
That's what
ideally.
That's how that league is set up. All right, Zach. Damn, we're at the top of the hour already.
We're at it. We're close to it.
All right, I was going to do some this date in sports history. We'll push that to the other side. Rumors out there about Florida's offensive coordinator position. Will it be filled? Will it be offered? We'll discuss that in hour number 2. And I damn sure want to get to the Georgia Bulldogs and the Texas Longhorns. Man, I am intrigued now with some recent developments. What's going to happen to those two powerhouses, their quarterback rooms? There's a lot of drama, if you ask me, and soon to be future drama around 2 of the Blue Bloods right now and still in the playoffs. We'll talk about that in hour 2. One down, one to go. Zach Rothrock producing. I'm Terry Norvelle. Stay with us right here on the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you from Sliders Oyster Bar.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, off we go. We kick off hour number 2. Terry Norvelle sitting right here at my favorite place on Thursdays. You know it by now. Sliders Oyster Bar. Boy, the Wootons have been good to us and our show over the years. And I'm proud to be associated with a wonderful, wonderful institution like Sliders Oyster Bar. Been around a long, long time. It just keeps getting better. The best menu and the best seafood, the freshest seafood you will find, can be found in Neptune Beach right down here at Sliders Oyster Bar. Zach Rothrock hitting all the buttons. I'm Terry Norvelle. We'll hopefully have Patrick on tomorrow. I'm not sure what his holiday schedule was this week. It's been really chopped up. I don't mind it, but man, Zach, this Wednesday, Christmas, New Year's Eve thing does chop up the week, doesn't it?
I never want to do. We need to talk to the manager. I never want to do Christmas on a Wednesday again. I don't like this.
Okay,
I don't like
call,
the setup.
call the NFL. They run it. They're running it now.
It looks like it. Yeah.
NFL runs it. They even Christmas. this wasn't one of the topics I wanted to come back with, but what about your boy LeBron? Yesterday, he makes the proclamation, hey, man, this is our day, meaning the NBA. No, the NFL has said they will take Christmas. Thank you.
When I first heard that quote, I thought that it was Randy Moss talking. Well, I never heard LeBron talk, but he had like a country accent for a second. I don't know if you heard like at the beginning of the quote. No, he said, "Hey NFL." I was like, "Is this Randy Moss? Like, what is this?"
Maybe it was Brian Kelly.
Maybe
was it Brian Kelly?
But I ain't even won all my games yet. God,
how y'all doing here down here? There's a Christmas day for all. I'm NBA Christmas Day.
Well, LeBron, I think he's a little stuck in the past. I mean, I appreciate him trying to be the mascot for the NFL or for the NBA and do their bidding. Sure. But, I think he's potentially barking up the wrong tree with that one.
Yeah, and I probably shouldn't. I'm not a big NBA guy, so I probably shouldn't say this. But aren't most people getting just about tired of LeBron? He's just kind of – I don't mean that in a bad way, but LeBron, time to kind of sunset it, my man. I saw a stat yesterday that said the Lakers – this year are worse on games he plays than when he doesn't play. I don't know what that means, but
I like their point differential. Yeah, I mean,
wins and losses.
Oh, yeah,
wins and losses.
It can mean a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely past his prime for sure.
Yeah. This day in sports history, I want to get only a couple things I wanted to note just for fun here. Zach, this has got to go down as the worst trade in the history of sports, right? Here we go. This date, 1919. Some Einstein with the Boston Red Sox had an idea and said, hey, let's trade this young Babe Ruth guy. We're going to trade him to the Yankees. Right?
Yeah, that was a bad call. I believe they call that the curse of the Bambino, if I do remember. It took them about 100 years to win a World Series after that, or 90, something like that.
But wouldn't you love to know kind of, obviously, whoever was running the Red Sox way back then, and Ruth was, that was way back before free agency. The only way you had to be traded or you're stuck with your team.
Yeah,
right?
That was the only way. Yeah, your only way out.
So what do you think the discussion was before they said, hey, let's call the Yankees. They got money. See if they want this young guy. We've got Ruth. He's a little pudgy. He's a little chubby. He doesn't run real fast. He's got a little spindly legs.
I assume they were potentially huffing lead-based paint moments before they made that phone call.
Wouldn't you love to see the minutes from the meeting they had? Okay, let's talk about some other players. This young guy we've got on the farm down there, Babe Ruth. I saw him. He's a little pudgy.
Yeah, he's not.
He doesn't really run fast.
He really did look extremely unathletic on every video I've ever seen of him.
I think a lot of that though was the filming and the.
Yeah, for sure. That's part of it.
And hey, he's a little pudgy. He doesn't really run fast. I don't know if he's ever going to develop any power.
Yeah. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, oh, my goodness. And goes to the Yankees. Here's one for you. I did not know this. Pretty impressive. This is how you get a trophy named after you, I guess. This date, sports history, 1960. And I double and triple read this. This date, sports history, 1960, NFL. This was the date that Vince Lombardi lost his only playoff game.
Wow, his whole career had one playoff loss. Well,
they turned into the Green Bay Badass Packers, right? I guess that's how you get. That's how you get the trophy named after you, don't you? Just don't lose any in the playoffs. Just win them all.
I would say so.
That helps. And I want to tie this to the current day Kansas City Chiefs and get your opinion. This date, sports history, 1991. A really, really good NFL coach who I still don't think gets his credit. Retired this date, 1991. Chuck Noll of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Noll, what did he win? They won 4 out of 5. They won
6.
4 out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
4 out of 6 years. I mean, that hasn't been duplicated, right? I mean,
I would imagine in the salary cap era that it never will. Yeah. Although if anyone's going to do it, it will be Kansas City.
Yeah. Now, with that said, a lot of people call that era, that 6-year reign, that Steeler team, the best in the history of the NFL. I mean, you can make that argument, and that's been made, agree or disagree. But if Kansas City wins their 3rd this year, they shoot to the best ever, right? I mean, you've almost got to call them the best ever.
Yeah, so I'm a pretty big Steelers fan. I've grown up listening to the lore of the 70s teams. They had like a record number of Hall of Famers drafted in one draft. I believe it was 8 in 72. But yeah, given the fact that it is the modern era with the salary cap, I would give the nod and say that the Chiefs three-peating would be more impressive. It's tougher to do it in today's NFL. It just is.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, that Steeler group, they did it through the draft, man. They
drafted Mean Joe Green in 1969 with the first overall pick, and he turned the franchise around. They were not a good franchise before they drafted him.
They grabbed Bradshaw. I mean, they did it with the draft.
Mm-hmm. Bradshaw out of Louisiana Tech.
Well, if you're a Steeler fan, I think I've got this right. The Steelers, they've been a long-time franchise. They've been around a long time.
Yeah, since 33.
They went decades without ever winning a playoff game. That Immaculate Reception, Franco Harris,
72.
that was their first win.
First playoff win, yep, it was.
How about that? In 72 or whatever that was?
Yeah, so it was about 39 years after so it was their 39th year as a team.
Isn't that amazing? That I don't think a lot of people realize that.
So how about that, Jaguar fans? I mean, think about that. You know, the Jaguars have won playoff games. They haven't been around for 32 years. Yeah. So they got a better start to their season than the Steelers, or to their career.
Hard to believe, though, the Steelers were just futile for so many decades.
Mm-hmm.
And that was their first ever playoff win, and it took arguably the most famous play in the NFL. I mean, that
the Immaculate Reception is nuts.
What Ricochet, was it should it have been a flag?
By the rules in 1972, it should have been.
A little different.
Yeah.
And then how the hell does Franco Harris scoop that thing off 1 foot off the ground?
Yeah, it's because he was being lazy. He was supposed to be further down the field on that play, but he ran the route lazily, and so he was way about there, and he was able to hit it. Yep.
Yep. Isn't that amazing? How all that had to happen. Bradshaw nearly sacked. And by the way, I just saw the play not long. It was this past week. I don't know what I was watching.
There's like a truck in the end zone.
I think so.
Yeah, like the fans are like parked behind the end zone.
And by the way, Bradshaw scrambles, nearly gets sacked, and Bradshaw had a massive arm too.
Oh yeah, yeah. The blonde bomber.
It ricocheted off. I think it was Frenchie Fuqua.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, the fullback,
the tight end, and then and my God, that started that run where the Steelers and the Raiders in that 70s run. They met up in the playoffs, and, man, they had some hellacious games.
Couple times, yeah. John Madden was still furious about that play up until the day he died.
They died. And, the rules were different. Football was barbaric back then, man. It was something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They made the Mel Blount rule because their corner, Mel Blount, he would just basically tackle the receiver. They made it where you couldn't hit them past 5 yards down the field, which is still in effect to today. That is the Mel Blount rule.
Yeah. Boy, that steal. And then, and this is my wheelhouse. The 70s, 80s were my wheelhouse. The 70s, I was getting old enough to really watch football, and man, the Steelers and the Raiders went at it. The Steelers and the Cowboys, those Super Bowls were just, perfect, made for TV. Two just glitzy, glamorous teams. They were different. One was pretty, one was gritty.
Yeah,
they were both great. Just Hall of Famers all over, and they just. When they got together, they played 2 Super Bowls back then.
Yeah, then they played number 10 and 13 against each other.
Yeah,
the Steelers won both of them.
They did not disappoint. The minute the game was, both those Super Bowls, they were kicked off, they just didn't disappoint, man.
I think Lynn Swann had 4 catches for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. And the great one where he's looking at it. And right at midfield, the great bobble, and he's. He couldn't have been covered any tighter by Mark Washington. The guy was right in his jersey. And the Steelers and the Cowboys, when they got together in those Super Bowls in the 70s, everything was perfect from a marketing. The Steelers, Pittsburgh was a steel town, obviously, and gritty. And then here's pretty Dallas with oil money and pretty people. And
their uniforms kind of reflected that. The black and yellow versus the star.
Yeah, they were both really talented, but it reminded me a lot of the perfect marketing in the 80s when the Lakers Celtics, you couldn't draw it up any better.
East Coast, Magic versus Bird.
Yeah, Magic Bird, black guy, white guy, East Coast, West Coast.
Showtime, LA,
pretty people, Hollywood, Boston's a tough town, right? We're working stiffs, and just perfect marketing for that series.
Yeah, the closest things we've gotten to that recently is probably the Warriors versus Cavaliers, and then this year with the Yankees and Dodgers.
Yankees Dodgers, a lot like that.
Yeah. And then the NFL kind of had the two games with the Patriots and Giants. Although those are two East Coast though, but yeah.
But that Yankees Dodgers, that's the perfect analogy. What we were just talking about. Major League Baseball would take that World Series every year if they could get it. It's just
yeah,
perfect.
they definitely would. Yeah.
Hell, the Dodgers were in New York, and they relocated.
Yeah.
And it's Hollywood, and it's gritty, grimy New York City, and I mean that in a nice way, against pretty LA and the beach and the Coney Island's there versus Muscle Beach, and it's good stuff. It's a real good stuff. I want to get to a couple other things. Let me hit some news and notes. Just a potpourri. I mentioned, I think, on the show, I was talking to my buddy here at Sliders, who's a Miami fan. News today out of Miami Hurricane basketball. I know it's not a big story to a lot of people, but Jim Larranaga, the head coach at Miami, he's been there 14 years. They went to the Final Four 2 years ago under Jim. He stepped down today, it looks like. The word hasn't come out officially. Obviously, it's the middle of the season. He stepped down as Miami's head coach, 75 years old. The word is it might be health issues. It's probably health-related, so we hope it's not anything terrible. But how about these numbers? Jim Larranaga, 14 years at Miami. He took them to the Final Four. You remember that? They went to the Final Four 2 years ago with FAU. Remember that?
Yeah.
FAU and Miami. Larranaga came from George Mason. He's a longtime coach. He went to the Final Four with George Mason. He was in the Final Four with George Mason one of the years Florida won they had to beat George Mason in one of the Final Fours. Larranaga has taken two teams to the Final Four. That doesn't happen a lot. There's not a lot of coaches that have taken two separate programs to the Final Four. I mean, that's pretty tall cotton right there.
Yeah, that's a good, especially for a school and a program that considers itself to be a basketball program for sure. I'm trying to look at it. Does kind of. I haven't seen an official reason, but it kind of feels like it probably is.
That's what it. Yeah, there's nothing really I've seen that said health issues. Yeah, but that's the whisper.
The quote that I see is that he said he feels he can no longer give in his role what he feels it deserves, which kind of to me sounds like health that he doesn't want to dive into.
Yeah, it really does. Other news and notes just bouncing around. Zach, did you hear today Teddy Bridgewater? Did you hear his story?
I actually just saw that a couple seconds ago. Yeah,
pretty neat. Let me catch people up. Teddy Bridgewater, longtime NFL quarterback, obviously came. He's a Miami kid, right? Went to Louisville. Has been in the NFL for a long time. Kind of a journeyman, wouldn't you say? He's had his moments as a starter. He's pretty much a journeyman. Yeah. Well, he leaves the NFL last year. He takes the head football job at Miami Northwestern High School, and they just knocked Reigns. They beat Reigns 41-0 in the state championship. So Teddy Bridgewater last week won a state championship at Miami Northwestern as the head coach. He just signed with the Detroit Lions today as a backup quarterback. He's back in the league.
Yeah, could potentially get a Super Bowl ring after he got a state championship ring. I would have to imagine that's probably never happened before in the same year where someone coached a high school state championship and then got a Super Bowl ring.
He said in his quotes I was reading today, he signed with the Lions. I guess they're looking for some insurance. Hendon Hooker is their backup, but they're looking for some maybe more experienced backup with Bridgewater. But he said that this was always the plan. He was going to coach 1 year at Northwestern, and then he wanted to get back in the NFL. And he said administration knew it, the kids knew it, and everything. It's kind of weird.
I mean, if that is true, which I assume it is, I feel like that's a weird thing to lie about. Then that's a good plan of action. Yeah, why not?
Yes, go make some money. LeBron, we talk about. I thought it was funny. Christmas is our day. LeBron, settle down. You need to call the NFL, and they'll let you know if you can say that.
Yeah, they might want to move to Christmas Eve. Potentially, they can have that.
And we went over the Anthony Richardson, his numbers. They got a win yesterday. He completed 11 passes. I mean, threw 11 passes. They ran it. That's still hard to believe in the NFL. The Colts ran 50 times for 330. You just don't hear that very often in the NFL. 335 is it?
And they were, they were running the ball very efficiently, and it's kind of one of those run it until they stop it type of deals. But yeah, you're not going to win very often throwing 11 passes in that league. That's just not how it's built.
No doubt. All right, let's take a break. I promise I want to get to on the other side. I'm really intrigued by the quarterback room. We're going to have some fun in some big-time programs. Their quarterback rooms are going to really there's going to be some hard decisions made. We'll talk about that, specifically the Georgia Bulldogs and the Texas Longhorns. That and a whole lot more cruising through hour number 2 at Sliders Oyster Bar on a Thursday.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
All right, I promise we're going to talk some college football quarterback rooms right now as we welcome you back here on a Thursday. Terry Norvelle coming to you from the patio at Sliders. Remember, tomorrow we'll be down at the other end of the beach, Rick's Jack's Beach, for our Friday show. It is Friday, I think. I've had to ask myself today about 5 times what day of the week it is. I think we're all a little confused with this midweek holiday stuff, but we'll bang through it. Yes, we will. Zach, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. Georgia and Texas, I mean, 2 ultra successful programs the last couple of years, both still in the hunt for the national championship. It's going to be interesting what happens. Something big's going to happen in both of those quarterback rooms. You look at Georgia. Obviously, Carson Beck is now out for the rest of the year. He will not play no matter how many games Georgia plays from now on out. If they win 3 more, win the national title, Beck will not play. He's had or scheduled to have or just had elbow surgery. So Carson Beck will not play. Gunnar Stockton will get the football for Georgia. And if he stays healthy, as many games as they have left. Gunnar Stockton was a bigger recruit than Carson Beck. Gunnar Stockton was a 5-star, big-time. Everybody wanted him. He's waited his time. He was the backup this year. Who knows where he's going to lead Georgia? They may be one and done when he starts, or they may win the national title. Flip over to the Texas quarterback room. I don't think Quinn Ewers has played very well this year. People thought he was going to just roll through and head out and be a number 1 pick. You can kind of say the same thing about Carson Beck. I mean, I like Carson Beck, kids from Jacksonville Mandarin. I've never been enamored with Beck. I think he's a little stiff. But I don't think many people would argue Carson Beck did not have the year that he and Georgia people thought. With that said, at Georgia, Gunnar Stockton, I don't think if Beck with this injury, I don't think he's going to declare for the draft. I think Beck will have to, him and his people will say, hey, man, Carson, you didn't have a great year. Now you've got a major injury. You need to go play some more college football and show that you're healthy and I think play at a higher level. So I think Carson Beck, I may be wrong on this, I think Carson Beck's coming back to college football next year. I'm not so sure Quinn Ewers is ready either for the NFL draft. He wants to be drafted really high. I don't think Quinn Ewers had a great year by expectation. What's going to happen in those 2 quarterback rooms? If Beck comes back, does he come back to Georgia? If Gunnar Stockton leads Georgia to a couple, 2 or 3 more wins, I mean, if you're Carson Beck, and I know injuries and starting positions, and do you lose them? I think I don't see any way in the world that Carson Beck and Gunnar Stockton are both at Georgia next year. Now, is that Gunnar Stockton saying, hey, man, he's coming back, I'm not coming back, I'm going somewhere else? Is that in reverse? Is that Carson Beck saying, oh, my gosh, the last thing I need to do is come back and not be the starting quarterback, then I'm damn sure not getting drafted high. That's an intriguing quarterback room, if you ask me. Wow, how and what's going to play out in Athens? I mean, think about it. What if Gunnar Stockton leads Georgia to a national title? I mean, he's got to be your starter going into next season. Where does Beck pop up? There have been kind of rumors, just whispers. I don't know how much legs. Carson Beck, Miami Hurricanes? Heard that a little bit. Anyway, that's intriguing. Same thing in Texas. Almost the exact same scenario I can see playing out at Texas. If Ewers leads Texas to a national title, he probably goes out. But Ewers hasn't had a great year. What if Texas gets knocked out? What if Ewers doesn't have a great next game? What if Ewers people say, man, you need to put up another good year? There's no way in hell Arch Manning is going to sit behind Ewers another year at Texas. I cannot fathom that happening. With that said, what if Ewers and his people decide he needs another year? He needs to play better. He needs to show more. Does Ewers come back to Texas? If Ewers does go back to Texas, Arch Manning's not staying. Does Ewers transfer out somewhere if he needs another year? Because what does Texas tell Arch Manning? What does Texas tell Quinn Ewers? I think it is really interesting. And Zach, I'm not sure if you're busy. I'd like to get your thoughts on this as well. I don't know if you thought that. I'm very intrigued to see what happened. Those 4 guys, those are 4 big-time recruits that they've been married to each other for a couple of years at their respective schools. I don't see any way Gunnar Stockton stays at Georgia if Beck comes back, and I certainly don't. It's Arch Manning. He thinks he's got the football next year in Austin, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he thinks he's got it, and I think he will have it. The Texas situation seems a little bit more cut and dry to me. I think Quinn Ewers is just going to be playing college football elsewhere next year. If he didn't get the injury, I think he would have just declared for the draft after having a pretty good season, which he probably would have had without it. I could see him going somewhere like Oregon next year. I think Dylan Gabriel will be out of there.
Quinn Ewers?
Quinn Ewers, I mean. Yeah, I could see Oregon being interested in a guy with his skill set.
How ironic, Texas, I mean, they've had a hell of a year. I mean, they can't get by Georgia. They make another crack. But you wonder, too, does Texas kind of tell Ewers, hey, if you think you need to come back for your draft and improve your game and all, could you do it somewhere else? Because what are they going to tell Arch Manning?
Yeah. I mean, the writing is on the wall. It's going to be 16. It's Manning's year next year. He's not going to be sitting on the bench as a junior because they already had packages for him this year.
Absolutely. You would think, and if they can't tell him 100%, if I'm the Manning camp, I say, hey man, Texas, we're out of here, man.
Yeah, and you're not losing Arch Manning. There's no way they want. That's too much. That's too good of an investment. You're making too much money. You've already done the tough part. You've already done the waiting part.
Yeah.
Now the Georgia situation.
Think about Georgia. Tell me about Georgia. What do you think?
So the backup's name is Bennett, correct? That's who came in and got knocked out.
Gunnar Stockton.
Gunnar Stockton, yeah. That's right. Gunnar Stockton. If Stockton comes in and wins the national championship with Georgia, he should come back as a starter, and that would mean Carson Beck would go elsewhere. If he were to come out and just fall flat on his face, though, then the situation becomes awkward. Yeah. Then it becomes, do we bring Beck back?
What if Gunnar Stockton, who, by the way, the other day he didn't play bad.
No, he played really well. He played really well and fearless. Fearless, I might add.
Yeah. What if Georgia doesn't? They may lose their next one, or what if they win a couple, but they don't win the national title, but Stockton plays well?
That's when it becomes muddy too. But I think you probably go with Stockton in that. In that scenario, it's not as cut and dry, but I think you probably lean Stockton and lean towards pushing Beck out the door. And there's no telling where he would. I feel like a program like how I said Quinn Ewers would probably be welcomed at Oregon. Oregon would say, "Nah, man, I think we can find someone better than Beck." So I don't know where he would end up. He would almost kind of be like in that DJU area.
That's a good point, because he's not not that Miami would love to find the next Cam Ward, but that's not Beck's game. Beck's not a Cam Ward, so if they're looking for that type of quarterback,
no, I don't think he fits that. I don't think he's a guy that's going to elevate the team around him, no matter where he goes. He could probably run a pocket, pro style offense, but I just don't see him as an elevator.
Yeah, I'll tell you another, and those two quarterback rooms intrigue the hell out of me. There's going to be movement. Hey, there's going to be, and those are big time names that are going to move. Who's going to be asked to move is the big $64,000 question.
Yeah.
The other, there's a million things that are going to happen with college football personnel. I don't think you and I have talked. I do not like at all where Florida State's quarterback situation.
Kromenhoek,
he got out of there. Kromenhoek got out of there. He's at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
He's out of there. I thought he was a pretty good player. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he thinks they're going to be bad again, if he asked for too much, but
probably.
Did you see who Florida State has saddled up with?
I have not seen the recent, no.
FSU is pretty much going with Thomas Castellanos, the guy from Boston College. Yeah. He's a little scramble guy. He's never going to complete a lot of passes. He's an athlete playing quarterback. Man, I don't think that's a good move for FSU at all. I don't know if they had anybody else they could have gotten, and I don't know what the marriage between Kromenhoek and FSU was, but I thought Kromenhoek had some upside. I think he does have upside.
Oh, yeah. He looked good when he got in there a couple of times. I mean, it's kind of turned into a toxic environment around there. It's probably hard for them to get the cream of the crop. They probably are having to settle for this Boston College guy.
I totally agree. But, man, I tell you, too, my FSU friends, they don't like hearing me say this, but I'm as honest I can be. I think FSU is in a deep hole, and I think it's going to, for them to get out, it's going to take a few years minimum. I think they're in a deep hole. I don't think they've got a very good roster. And frankly, I don't think Mike Norvell's the guy. I think he's a bit of a fraud.
It feels like he's not. I think they're retaining this Brock Glenn guy. I saw some promising things from him at times.
Brock Glenn, Zach Rothrock. Guy's a guy. There's a million Brock Glens out there. They're bringing Castellano. Castellano's quarterback Boston College this year, and he beat FSU in Tallahassee. That's a big deal, but you've seen him. He's an athletic guy. He's an awkward passer. He doesn't throw a natural pass, so he's going to be a 50% guy. He's going to scramble out of trouble here and there, and with that, he'll have one game a year where he beats somebody pretty good because his wild passes land. But I think FSU's in a world of hurt here the next few years.
I mean, among the three major programs in the state, they are by far away the lowest.
Distant.
Yeah. Like I would say Miami's probably in the best. Florida ended the season strong, so they got a lot of good momentum. They got positive things to build on. They got DJ Lagway to be excited about, but it's hard to find something to be excited about with this FSU football program.
It really is. And I'm not saying at all the ACC is – I think it's a top-to-bottom, very, very weak conference. Another thing working against FSU, I don't think the ACC is very good, so there may be some false hope wins in there.
Yeah.
But it looks like Miami's going to be a problem for FSU, and they're going to be better than FSU for a couple years. And it looks like Clemson's getting back to – Clemson had that little and I know they at least competed with Texas. It looks like Clemson and Dabo, they've got a bit of a rebirth. They're, those 2 or 3 years gone by, that wasn't Clemson.
Yeah, they can at least beat the bad ACC schools, which apparently is enough to get you into the playoff, even though you lose to teams that get left out. I'm not salty about it.
But I mean, I know you're picking at them and all, but I'm trying to be serious here. Don't use this Clemson team I saw this year. This Clemson team I saw this year wasn't the last 2 or 3 years that took us. Now they took a big step back from those great Clemson years, but it looks like Clemson's getting the saddle on the horse right again a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to go 13-0, but it looks like. Point being, they're going to pop up on FSU schedule, and Miami's on FSU schedule.
Yeah, and Amish Dabo is finally using the transfer portal, even though he said he never was going to. So that's going to help them out. Honestly, I kind of assumed that they were never going to actually do the transfer portal, and he wasn't lying through his teeth, which is pretty silly of me. But yeah, now that they actually are moving into the 21st century and using the transfer portal, they're not going to decline.
And what, we've bounced that around before. Why would you, if you're Dabo, voluntarily get into the boxing ring with one of your tying your own hand behind your back and fighting with one? Why would you, if everybody's using the transfer portal, why would you know we're going to handcuff ourselves and handicap ourselves? We'll do it our way.
Yeah, I mean, I think his logic is, I want to recruit my guys and keep my guys and build a family and build a team and build a culture. But then, you quickly look around and see that everyone else is getting better and you're staying the same, and that's not going to work.
What's wrong with having 20 of your guys and 5 filling a gap, hopefully, portal guys?
Yeah, and that's what the transfer portal should be. And I think that's kind of what that he's looked at and what he's seen and what he's learned. The transfer portal should not be Deion Sanders coming in and sending out 40 guys and bringing in 40 guys. That's not sustainable. That's not going to work. And typically that's what it will be. It's just a few fringe guys on the corner of your roster. It's not the main marquee guys.
Hey, by the way, we talked about this a lot. We'll do it in the offseason like crazy, but as if Florida State's not looking at a tall enough mountain to get over. They get to catch angry, pissed off. We're going to show you guys. You hadn't seen us since you snubbed us. Alabama, week 1.
Yikes.
They
tough.
Get angry Alabama to open the season to show up their new stadium in Tallahassee. Did you know that? Ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, it can't be much worse than going all the way to Ireland just to lose to Georgia Tech.
How about that?
But I mean, that's not that's not a good way to, an easy way to open.
And assuming Florida's going to take another step forward, I don't know how big the step will be, but I don't have their schedule in front of me, but that tells you FSU opens with Alabama and closes with Florida.
Yeah.
and then I think they've got Notre Dame. I think they've got Clemson. They always have Miami. Ugh. And right now they can't beat the the NC States of the world, right?
Yeah, at the moment, right?
And I don't know what's going to happen in North Carolina, but they probably play North Carolina as well. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I don't see North Carolina on the schedule. I do see.
They don't get them next year.
No, I don't think so. They play their normal. Just basically Alabama and the ACC and Florida. At Florida.
Alabama ACC. Do they have Clemson?
Yeah, Clemson. They will. It'll be at Clemson.
Do they have Notre Dame again, or that bounces off?
I don't see. I don't see Notre Dame.
They played them this year, but and Notre Dame only plays 5, so they bounce. They bounce up in and out. Real quick before we take our last break of the show, remember I pulled up. Was it last week? I pulled up North Carolina's schedule for next year, and it's so ironic. And Zach, I don't know. Can you pull up North Carolina's schedule? It's going to be so funny to see. Arguably the greatest coach in the history of the NFL, Bill Belichick. He'll be on one sideline coaching against like Richmond. They've got some team. Bill Belichick will be coaching against the Richmond Spiders.
They go at Charlotte to face the Charlotte 49ers. They've
only been playing football about 20 years.
Yeah. And the other
Isn't
Richmond.
that weird though to think whoever the Richmond head coach is, the Charlotte, they just fired their guy, I think. Bill Belichick will be going head to head with the Richmond Spiders head coach. Doesn't that sound funny?
You'll have to give him a handshake, and maybe a potentially losing handshake at the end of the game.
Ooh. Last thing before we go to break about Belichick. This, and you know me, I am a guy. I think college football has never been in a better spot. It's never been more popular. There's nothing, even though there's the gloom and doom people, college football is ruined, it's dying. Nothing has shown that to be the case. Quantitatively, qualitatively, everything is off the chart in college football. With that said, I wonder if Bill Belichick, I don't think Belichick would have said, I'm going to go to this thing, college football, that's dying. And I know he's only going to coach 4 or 5 years probably. But what if Belichick thinks college football is this horrible creation that they've ruined? Why would he even go to college football?
Oh no, I think he believes kind of similarly to what I believe, and that's that the college is really turning into a true NFL farm system. And I think that he sees that, with each college hiring their own general manager, it's turning into more of a salary cap. It's turning into more of a thing that he is used to working with. And it's almost like it's also new, but it's familiar at the same time. And I think that he thinks that he can get in kind of on the ground floor just like a year or two into this and really kind of work it and almost be a pioneer in this type of league.
There was another and I'll be fair, there is another, and I've said this on our show, there's another reason he went college. Even though his son has been a NFL assistant coach for a long time, he's a legitimate coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be his defense coordinator. There's no franchise in the NFL that would have hired Bill Belichick 2 weeks ago with the understanding that when you're done, Bill, your son's going to get the head NFL job. North Carolina, the word was his number one sticking point was, hey, I want my son to get. And with that said, though, I don't think Bill Belichick, if he thinks the game of college football is so putridly bad, like some people say, I don't think he'd be trying to set his son up in college football.
No, definitely. And that's the big thing is he wants to get his son, Steven, the job. But no, I mean, I personally think that this has been one of the better college football seasons in my memory, like ever. And I think it's very exciting. It's good to have these games late in the season actually mean something where the teams still have a shot to make the playoffs.
We'll kick this around a bunch in the offseason. If you go back as far as I do in college football, when it was just a vote, then it was just 2 teams played for the national title. Then it was 4 teams. Now we're in 12. And now we're in free agency. Now we're in NIL. Now we're in portal. I'm telling you, way back when, I'm talking legitimately think you could win the national title. Not fans hoping. Way back when, for the longest time, every offseason, there might be 5 or 6 programs that really think, and learned people that know college football say, hey, here's your 5 or 6, your national titles. Now, there could be an upset one year here and there out of left field, like there is in March Madness. But it was pretty easy to go, okay, if you give me 5 picks, I can tell you who the national title is going to be in college football. It was that year, that way forever. I'll guarantee you, everybody won't be right, but this coming off season, there will be 30 to 40, somewhere between 30, 35, 40 programs that if you gave them truth serum and their coaches weren't just talking hyperbole, right? They go, we really think we've got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, because if you can,
because of the things in place, because of the portal and things like that, there will be 30 programs that truly think they will make a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, because if you can just make the tournament, you can win the tournament. And then with the top tier programs, like the top tier programs such as Georgia, Alabama, etc., one of the big things that they're lacking now is the depth they used to have. Alabama used to be able to wear you out by doing defensive line rotations. Now, if a guy's not getting playing time, he's leaving, and so that definitely gives the lower tier programs a better shot to fight it out with them on any given Saturday.
I love my counter argument. The big argument about the portal, my God, there's 5,000 people in it, and they're transferring, they're moving and grooving, and that's terrible for the player. I go, wait a minute. How about the fact that nowadays you don't have to die on a vine if you're at a program and there's a guy that's better than you, or you can't win the job, or he's older than you? You don't have to die on the vine. How many thousands of guys year after year now will not die on the vine? They'll go get a rebirth.
Yeah.
You know, the old days you were stuck and you're going to sit there, and I think the portal's the best thing. Now it's going to work itself out, and there's some flaws, just like free agency in the NFL had flaws. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a final break. I want to get some Gator talk real quick on the other side. We'll have about 7 or 8 minutes. Stay with us right here. We'll talk some Gator offensive coordinator discussion on the other side, wrapping things up from Sliders Oyster Bar.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding with Bold City Heating and Air. It's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bolt City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bolt City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, how about some Gator offensive coordinator talk? Just rumors, and I'll throw my 2 cents in. Nothing happening yet, or has happened, at least publicly. I wish I knew, as we welcome you back to the final segment here on the Young and Norvelle show from Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach. I wish I knew the Gator writer is one of these, and I'm sorry I can't think of his name. I read some stuff the other day, and I think there might be a cryptic little bit of a message that I was trying to kind of read between the lines. One of the Gator site writers talking about the Florida offensive coordinator position that may or may not be offered, depending on what Napier wants to do. I hope he does bring in an offensive coordinator. Most people do. With that said, this Gator writer, and I apologize for not thinking of his name, he posted something the other day, and I read it, and it said, I'm paraphrasing, it said that if what he is hearing happens with regard to Napier hiring this, and he's not naming any names right now, this source that he's hearing, if what he's hearing, the rumor he's hearing, was to come to fruition and Napier did hire this guy, Gator Nation would go nuts. And those, the last 2 words, go nuts, are his. I'm not paraphrasing that part. And with that, I kind of read between the lines, and Zach, you may think I'm too deep into this, but I immediately thought, okay, this is like this guy saying he can't say anything now, but his sources are telling him that, to me, go nuts sends you to Columbus, Ohio. And with that, the offensive coordinator for Ohio State is Chip Kelly, his first year after leaving UCLA. The co-offensive coordinator, receivers coach, and world's best recruiter is Brian Hartline. To me, and I was telling some friends over the weekend, I said, I think I'm kind of reading a cryptic message here from this Gator beat writer, but it would almost appear that he thinks that Napier might, or is at least talking to, and it could be either one. Is it Chip Kelly or is it Brian Hartline? Hartline's 38 years old, thought of wonderfully in the industry, considered a great, not good, a great recruiter. And you think he's on a path to be a head coach one day. And you certainly think you could say, well, is it Hartline? And he's ready to get a title of offensive coordinator, take a step up with regard to title, not co-offensive coordinator. Or is it Chip Kelly? Would he be one and done at Ohio State? Now, another thought, if it's Chip Kelly they're talking about and Napier is talking to, would Napier have trepidations if Kelly did come over to Florida as Napier's offensive coordinator for the Gators? Would you have to have some real assurances? Hey, Chip Kelly, now, if you come to Gainesville, this would be your third job in 3 years. Are you, I don't want to be doing this again in 1 year. That would be one thing I would want to consider if I was Billy Napier. But, and Zach, I don't know if you were able to hear any of that dissertation. Maybe I'm reading too much, but Gator Nation would go nuts. That sent me right to Ohio State, Chip Kelly or Brian Hartline. By the way, I would take either one of those guys.
Yeah. Gator Nation definitely wants a new OC. They definitely want a new guy doing the play calling. I've seen enough of the comments online to know that is the general. I think people are going to freak out if they see Billy Napier anywhere near play calling next year.
I think there's some similarities between I don't think the Jaguars could any way, shape, or form. Kahn could run Peterson and Balky back out. I don't think Gator Nation would stand for Napier calling the plays. I've gone this far, and it's kind of fun, Zach. I've commented many times on social, and I've said it here. The last thing you want to see if you're Gator Nation next year when they open up the season against Long Island, game 1, play 1, offensive play 1, you do not want to see Billy Napier holding that play sheet in his hand.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely not. People are going to freak out.
Right.
You also don't want to see 12 men on the field at any point on special teams.
You're going to see that. You're going to see
that's inevitable. You're right.
One of the things about Ohio State, if it was one of those coordinators, Chip Kelly or Brian Hartline, you can't really do anything. They're trying to win the national title, so you're a little bit hamstrung. You kind of, if it's one of those guys, and you're Gator Nation, you don't give a damn about Ohio State. You kind of hope they get beat, right? You kind of hope Oregon beats them.
Probably.
And
potentially they could get rid of Ryan Day. I kind of feel like they got Mike Vrabel on their staff. I think he might be a candidate to be their head coach. I'm not really 100% on that.
Or Hartline is 38 years old, played at Ohio State, great recruiter. You wonder, would Hartline get that job without ever being a head coach, though? That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
but you're right. Vrabel's on that staff, right? Like you said.
Yeah, I could see him being a successful college coach 100%. He could get the recruiting.
Does he want to get back in the NFL?
That's the other thing. And once you're an NFL guy, you kind of remain an NFL guy.
With the Jacksonville Jaguars. That'd
be spicy. That'd be spicy.
That's the level of coach that Jacksonville would have to talk to. A guy that's, didn't make. I don't know. We'll get into that. We're at the end of the show. All right, Zach. Good job. Glad you're back safe from the low country there in South Carolina. Right. We'll get back together again tomorrow for our Friday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. We'll be live on the other end of the beach. Come by and say hi. We're in Jack's Beach tomorrow at Bricks Jack's Beach. That'll wrap it up. Have a great rest of your Thursday, everybody. We'll talk tomorrow at 4 o'clock on the Young and Norvelle Show.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream premium channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.